Hey lads, my name is Skychrew and welcome to Game Theory video, the last history of Minecraft's Enderman. So let's start by Game Theory, all things down below.
Literally no one.
Nobody. There is nobody. Endermans!
Oh, come on, you gotta be
Guys,
kidding me.
FriendlyMan's gone. I told you literally yesterday.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Enderman was my bro.
Call it nostalgia. Call it a return to a more innocent time. Call it a desire to trend right off of PewDiePie's success playing the game that just overthrew Fortnite. Rest in peace, Jurgen. But I have been digging through a lot of Minecraft
for suffocated
Jurgen. And you absolutely heard that right. According to Google Trends, Minecraft is now on top of Fortnite.
I mean, I'm happy with
web search and
what
here
about
on YouTube. It's like the Grover Cleveland of video games. And by that I mean a game that was king, gave up its crown to someone else, but then snatched it back. Just like old Grover C. did when he was elected president. History's only double president, for that matter.
That's how
Honestly,
it happened.
It's like the only thing Grover Cleveland's known for. Heck, this 10 fascinating
just because he's double president.
Couldn't even come up with anything remotely interesting, let alone fascinating. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Minecraft on the other hand is endlessly fascinating because for a game that's now 10 years old, happy anniversary by the way, its lore still hasn't been cracked. Oh sure, there's plenty of speculation and lots
just
of
killed the
really
Ender
good
Dragon and that's all.
ideas, but to my knowledge, no one has truly been able to piece together a final, all-encompassing, all mysteries of this world.
Dude, Enderman, I'm actually not spooked on him, even in game.
And
He's
so
like,
today I don't really plan on doing that. I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm starting to learn that people take it really seriously when I say stuff like, today we're solving this. So let me instead say this quite honestly to you. I'm gonna do my best to start us on a journey to solve this thing. I want to start a conversation with all of you where we can pool our knowledge and figure this out together.
Let's go.
I want to put together my thoughts on pieces of evidence that stood out as particularly
Villagers is actually Endermans.
To you what I interpret that
and then Enderman is actually zombies, and zombies are actually Ender Dragon.
Communal hands. It's a theory. It's always a theory. And like any theory, it's meant to be discussed, analyzed, criticized, added to,
I'm not
tested.
saying
And
anything about it.
It's a theory about video games. It's meant most importantly of all to be fun. And if along the way we solve some deep-seated lore mysteries, great, more power to us. These games at the end of the day are puzzles to solve. And so I'm gonna do my best to lead that charge in solving those puzzles. But I want you to be there with me every step of the way. And so our first step when it comes to solving Minecraft.
Oh my god, it's so dark in the Minecraft. It's always like for some reason.
Originally programmed in the game as a joking reference to Slenderman, these tall, dark, and handsome creatures, well, just tall and dark, I guess, have become the cornerstone upon which all
actually yesterday I played Minecraft and Enderman
solving what the
didn't do anything to me.
Is essential if we have any hope of truly coming to the definitive solution as to the hidden backstory of this game. And after exploring the design of survival mode, the gameplay decisions, even ancillary canonical content in books like the Mob Bestiary, surprise, surprise, I have myself a theory as to what they actually are. Admittedly,
what actually is Enderman?
Theory. But what it lacks for an originality, it more than makes up for in evidence and observation. Enderman? It is my proposal to you today that the Endermen aren't aliens, they're not ghosts. I almost thought that they were insects, but that one didn't pan out. No, what they are is human. They're brilliant humans. Humans who are in trouble, a literal fight for their lives and needed an escape. But in the process, they suffered a horrific fate, reducing them to the moaning shadows of a fallen civilization that they are now. So, in the true
is that actually the thing?
Let's start
they're just
building
monsters
ourselves
spawning.
a theory, shall we? What do we know about these creatures? Well, first, we know that they're one of the game's neutral mobs, meaning that they're not going to attack you unless they're actively provoked. This
unless you just look at them. Just accidentally look at them.
In many ways, they come in peace. I mean, look at the list of mobs
and
all of their behavior
If you look at them, they'll instantly kill you.
That's nice to you is either an animal, a villager, or a zombie pigman, which is weird and honestly merits an episode of its own for another day. Everything, and I mean everything else, is hostile.
That's true.
The Enderman. So already there's a bit of an odd, tenuously peaceful relationship between
Not really, I must say, but
it gets even weirder when you consider that they're the only other creatures other than Steve or Alex able to move blocks. Sure, they're kind of picky about what blocks they pick up, but carrying blocks is an ability only shared between our character and the Enderman. As the Mob Bestiary,
it was always weird, like why do they
just
get
pick
the
up
blocks?
Any block, but will choose only clay, dirt, and sand, flowers, and other plants, and rather oddly TNT. theory. Some claim the
All right.
Enderman is indulging in a form of play or attempting to communicate. Speaking
Maybe.
of communication, we also know that they can talk.
They make
or
like
at least
they make
have
sound
the
like
ability to
oh.
talk. Listen to some of the sound clips from when Endermen are idling near you.
That's exactly
Hear
the
it?
sound.
There's clearly a language here, a real language that we as humans can understand. Listen again. You should be hearing, hey, hello.
No way.
This next one is really clear. What's up? And
Is that made
look
up?
for the eye, which presumably is referencing eyes
never
of
heard
Ender, the items that allow you to find strongholds.
I'm not
where
sure
they're
about
used
that.
to
I never
activate a
heard
portal
such
to
things. He
the
just
end, home of the Enderman and the
The
game's
sound.
final boss, the Ender Dragon. So we have ourselves neutral creatures
know.
who are able to move blocks just like us and have
True.
language abilities far beyond what
That's
we hear
something to
elsewhere in
prove
the
yet,
game
because
from
I never
characters like
actually
villagers.
officially
It's
heard it
certainly
yet.
a lot of odd similarities to be sure, but far from airtight evidence that the Endermen are somehow related to men. But now
Well,
let's take a minute
Endermen,
to
of
actually
course,
look
it's obvious.
at their home, the end. The end
They
is
have
a
home?
weird final dimension for Minecraft. It honestly feels to me like where the game started to run out of money. Not that it could ever run out of money. With the whole thing just being a bunch of endstone and purple blocks. Ugly purples and yellows everywhere, huge chunks of landscape missing, and giant
the end
cities that you
zone.
can visit far off in the distance. All of which are eerily empty. This
Actually never
is
thought
the
about,
home
like,
of the Enderman, sure.
people
Even the
usually
Mobby
just
series
kill
says
the
it.
dragon
But
and
look
leave.
closer and you see that while the Endermen may call this
But that someone
dimension
actually
home,
explored.
and they certainly wander around in the empty open landscapes, these giant looming Thanos purple buildings aren't for them. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look inside the End cities. There's
Alright.
tons of great loot hidden all over the place. Inside the chests, you can find everything from enchanted swords to saddles and armor for your horse.
Oh,
The
that's
Minecraft
nice.
Gamepedia breaks down everything that we can find here, but something's wrong with that list. None of these items are actually useful to the Endermen. They don't wear armor, they don't attack with
That's
swords, and
true.
they certainly don't ride animals. Heck, there are no animals in the end to ride. Even the
Yeah.
fact that the items are kept in chests
That is true.
should be a huge red flag here. Remember, Endermen are only picking up certain blocks, and none of those blocks entail chests. They can't use these things or the thing that stores those things. All of this points to the idea that the End's cities weren't built by the Endermen. They were built by and for someone else. Some other ancient
who?
people who managed to get to the end. But who? When you start up a new survival mode game, you enter a blank world. Immediately
Right.
you notice that you're the only one of your kind. Oh, sure,
Oh.
as you adventure, you'll come across NPCs like the villagers, but they're not like you. They don't look like you. They can't build like you. You
True,
and the
true,
villagers
true.
are fundamentally different. It's almost as if you're a different species. This fact is even supported by zombie attacks. When
But the
bit, a
zombie
villager
looks
doesn't
the same,
transform
though.
into a normal zombie. It turns specifically into a zombie villager. Regular zombies and zombie villagers are different. In fact,
That's
the
true.
only times that you ever really see anything that looks even remotely like you, it's always in the form of undead enemies.
True. I agree with that.
Drowned husks. It implies that
Husks,
once
I
upon
hate
a
them.
time,
They're all
there
over my
were
biome,
other
sand biome,
humans
everywhere.
here, but they all died
And they
en
don't-
masse. It's a strange detail that
They
you probably
don't
noticed,
die
but
in
you
the
shrug it off and
daylight,
you
the
continue on
husks.
your
They don't
journey.
burn.
Then you start discovering pre-existing structures, mine shafts, temples in the desert, monuments underwater, all abandoned, all of them lost to time. Again, you're the only person who can build things in this world, and you certainly didn't build any of these things, so
Well,
where
that's
did they
true.
come from? Making things even more suspicious is the fact that ruins like desert temples are protected
But
by
villagers
cleverly
can
designed
build,
booby
right?
traps, elaborate fake floors complete with pressure plates and grids of TNT. It all points to one thing: an advanced society of builders.
So other-
once
other
lived in the
basically
overworld,
players
but have
are
since
like-
disappeared. So that begs the question: where did they go? Maybe
They
they
are
all
just
died, which in turn led to the
same
armies of the undead
as
mobs
us,
that we have to
basically.
guard against every night. And while I certainly think that that's
They all
part
died
of
and
it,
became to
it's the whole
zombies.
story. Because we know that they went somewhere, teleported somewhere. And while they could have gone any number of places, we know for a fact that one of the places they ended up was the end. How can we be so sure? strongholds. Strongholds are the hidden
stronghold?
ancient ruins that contain massive portals to the end. Whatever this ancient society was, they were so advanced that they could figure out how to build these things, which in turn makes them more advanced than even you, the player. In survival mode, you can't craft the end frames necessary to construct this thing. In order to travel to the end, you must find these portals hidden within the stronghold. And
plus, you need a lot of...
For a minute. I mean, have you ever thought to question that name?
Ender pearls.
Stronghold? It's a pretty odd choice. Personally, I would think it to be like the portal room, or the gateway room, or the altar, or something, anything like that. But instead, the designers of Minecraft named it Stronghold, a term that refers to a highly secure structure built for defending against attacks. And there's that idea.
The attacks from who, though?
An ancient civilization of advanced builders that was quickly dying. A group of builders, just like our player, who were being threatened in the overworld and needed an escape.
So
and
basically from the creepers and the...
to another dimension, the end, where, wouldn't you know it, they built cities to store the items and armor from their previous world. But there was one thing that they didn't expect, that this would be a one-way trip.
They all went inside the portal and then just built this and put it all their loot.
In a strange and barren wasteland. Sure, they were safe from whatever was killing them in the overworld, but now they were trapped in a wasteland. A wasteland guarded by an unstoppable dragon, and they came unprepared. Based on what we see
that's
in the
the
chests,
worst,
they came
bro.
in with swords and
how can you possibly build a portal to such an
effective weapons, to be sure, but not
creature,
against
bro?
An otherworldly foe. A giant
with
foe
regenerated
that
crystals
around
on
and
top.
attacks with towering beacons that restore its health. They couldn't defeat this thing, hence why it's still living when we arrive. And as we know from the game, the only way out of the end is through defeating the Ender Dragon.
You did it!
And since they couldn't,
congrats!
They were stuck.
Congrats, MadPap, you did it!
For generations. They learned to live in harmony with the dragon. They make a new life with whatever limited resources they have there, building homes using the strange end stones and purple blocks. They run out of food and soon have nothing to eat, so they turn to the strange chorus fruits found there. Chorus fruits, which, funny enough, have teleportation properties.
So they just become Enderman by eating the fruits.
They adapt to their new surroundings.
There we go. That's the answer. Alright.
According to the diagrams in the mob bestiary, their brains are very human-like, and they have the flat faces and wide eyes indicative of humans. They still do vaguely look like our player character, but they evolve to grow taller, which makes picking the tall stalks of chorus fruit easier.
But can we eat a chorus fruit ourselves?
Got longer to more
That's the
easily
question.
reach higher up leaves. The fruit's teleportation abilities starts to rub off on them. So instead of having to rely on ender pearls to teleport around, they instead naturally gain the ability from their diet. Over time, they slowly forget their ability to build. I mean, why build when there's no escape? When there's not even many resources with which to craft? But they still retain the ability to pick up blocks. Though
they love blocks.
Gets forgotten, they do retain a rudimentary language, still speaking in those distorted words. This once great builder society slowly, generation after generation, transforms into the Enderman. Even some of their memories still remain.
It actually makes sense
now. One odd detail of the Enderman is that wearing a pumpkin on your head prevents them from becoming aggressive. Maybe
what?
It reminds them somewhere deep
if you wear a
symbol,
pumpkin, Enderman doesn't attack you?
Golems that they would construct back on the overworld. Regardless, the civilization is stuck there.
I didn't know that.
Some are able to teleport out into the overworld or into the Nether, but most
you can just have pumpkin head
live there under the rule of the dragon.
I'm getting it.
No, this isn't by choice, because when you finally arrive in the end, when you finally defeat their oppressor, the achievement we receive is free the end. The Endermen at this point are so far gone from the people they once were that they're no longer able to appreciate
FriendlyMan.
But in defeating the dragon, you as the player have brought closure to this oppressed civilization. One that was forced to flee to a new dimension in order to survive, only to wind up trapped yet again. And that, my friends,
is the lore of
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
You're a builder, and you follow in the path of the great builders who came before you, discovering their work,
it all makes sense now.
Their enemies, unlocking their technology, and ultimately freeing them from their greatest oppressor. Now, admittedly, there are some difficult things to explain here, like how this ancient civilization got access to the ender pearls necessary to craft the Eyes of Ender required to build a portal to the end if they themselves become the Endermen. It would require some sort of time loop, which honestly there isn't a whole lot of evidence for. Instead, my thought here is is that the Ender Pearls are items that they learn to create before becoming Endermen, before going to the end. I mean,
how did they exit the portal?
This ancient civilization was able to access
while being Endermans in there. How do we see them in the real world?
Both require blaze-related materials to craft. So this civilization had definitely visited that dimension, and thus knew how to access the powers of teleportation. So that's why they learned how to harness that in a smaller, portable form, i.e. the Ender Pearl, before ever making it to the end? I'm not 100% sure. It's honestly just speculation to try and solve for this theory's biggest problem. Anyway, I want to know, what do you think? Did you like it? Did you not? Let's build it out from there. Why do they hate Endermites? Where'd the villagers come from? And seriously, what is the deal with the zombie pigman civilization?
And they don't attack us as well.
The Endermen are just the start to the puzzle that is Minecraft, but there is still plenty more here for us to discover. So until then, remember, that's just a theory.
Dancing around.
Game theory. Thanks for
MatPap. It was actually pretty useful. I got some information about it.
Left to check out my video on.
So then there's the small theory, a big theory as well. The lost history of Minecraft's Enderman. Man, there was a lot of things in there, I tell you. I kind of guessed that they're sort of humans, I guess, because there was, first of all, men in the end, in the name of it, basically, and Slenderman, Enderman, I did a joke about it. Yesterday, literally yesterday, before actually looking or watching or just reacting to this, I actually literally recorded an Enderman video, and a lot of you in the comments said me, hey Sky, did you watch Game Theory? Did you react to Game Theory? And I'm like, no, should I have to? Yes, and I watched it, and this makes so much sense now. So the dude, the Enderman that did that was yesterday, I was looking towards him, maybe it was a glitch or something, I don't know. He didn't attack me, I was looking without the pumpkin head. Apparently if you have a pumpkin, they don't attack you. I didn't know that at all. But apparently if you have a pumpkin head, they don't attack you. And I didn't have a pumpkin head. I just looked at him and he like, okay, fine. He didn't even attack me. And I even attacked himself, provoked him, and he didn't do nothing. That's a true friendly man right there, I tell you. Enderman is a friendly man. Trust me, he is a friendly man. Just don't look at his eyes. As long as you don't look at his eyes, just don't look. Or wear pumpkin head. As long as you see an Enderman, have a pumpkin head in your inventory and just pop it in. Boy, and that's all, you're safe, technically. I don't actually consider Enderman a hard enemy, all in all, because they can't kill you, but as long as you actually know how to avoid their attacks and you just be careful. Like, I saw Enderman a lot of times, and they actually attacked me, but what I just did, I just simply go to water, or I just go away from there super far, or just, I don't know, it's so random for me. I usually go to water, or I just look away instantly. If I just see an Enderman, I turn my mouse away and to the other side and just look there for like at least 30 seconds, and then slowly move backtracking, like moving backwards towards the Enderman. He just teleports and I'm fine. He doesn't even do anything to me. As I don't know, you just have to be careful. You just try to avoid eye contact, I don't know, and that's all, lads. It's actually pretty easy, and Enderman is not a very scary mob for me. He can be spooked when he suddenly just comes out of nowhere. That is a scary, but other things than that, he's not the most scariest. I consider husks, or actually creepers, are more scary and difficult than Enderman to me. I don't know what was it to you, lads, but in general, I hope you enjoyed this reaction, lads. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share this video everywhere you can, tell your friends about this channel, and I'll see you, lads, tomorrow with another video. Stay tuned for that. Be cool, lads. Stay awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and join the Discord server.